Hello and welcome back to the Pause Before Applause podcast. My name's Tanner.
I'm Cameron.
And today we are going to be talking about the terribleness that was the NBA All-Star Weekend.
We're also going to be talking about reminiscing on one of our personal favorite comedy shows ever, Chappelle's show.
One of the best of all time, in my opinion.
I would agree.
And we're going to be doing a fun little hypothetical for you guys. For you guys at home and abroad, wherever you are deciding to listen to this podcast. So let's get right into it. First thing that I want to address about All-Star Weekend is Dennis Smith should have been in the final of that dunk contest. He had easily the best dunk of the night, and I don't understand how Victor Oladipo gets a 30 for a dunk that he didn't even make.
Was he just missed all of them?
Yeah, and then Dennis Smith gets a 39 for a pretty good dunk.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I will say this, Donovan Mitchell didn't not deserve to win, but I feel like Nance had some really strong dunks too. I feel like there definitely could have been like an overtime scenario there.
I feel like Larry Nance was a victim of the format, and that's what I'm going to get into next. I think the format should change.
Okay.
I don't really know how what you change it to, but I don't think the way they do it now, where they do like elimination of the dunkers. I think everybody because you got guys who are like trying to like play it safe in the first like the preliminary round, so they don't want to like throw their best dunk out. So you end up with somebody like Dennis Smith, who I'm fairly certain had better material.
He claimed that his final dunk would have been him dunking with his ear.
That would have been nasty.
I have no idea how he would have.
Did you see the dunk Oladipo did?
In the game?
No, it was like practice. He
No.
Hold on, I'll show it to you. But yeah, that would have been an easy 50.
Well, see, I think that's part of the problem too.
Yeah, check this out.
So like, what in the hell?
He bounced it off the
backboard
and caught it with one hand.
That would have been way more impressive than Nance's dunk. Nance's dunk, if we're honest with ourselves, was like a 44.
The double tap?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really not that impressive.
He got a 48.
He got a 50.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another thing that should change is you shouldn't be able to judge in a dunk contest if you've never
dunked a basketball.
Yeah.
And I can definitely guarantee one quote unquote gook killer.
Wow.
Mark Wahlberg.
Wow.
That's his words.
Wow.
Mark Wahlberg and Chris Rock, even though I love Chris Rock, and I think if they're going to do one celebrity judge, him.
I don't think he should have a celebrity judge.
But
I actually, you know what? I'm going to take it even one step further. You shouldn't be able to judge in a dunk contest if you haven't won the dunk contest.
Yeah, so like Kobe, Vince,
Dr. J can stay. Yeah,
Dr. J is the OG.
Yeah.
Dominique. I don't know how they haven't gotten Dominique to do it. The human highlight reel
with the bootcut jeans. Get him too.
Let's see.
Michael Jordan, I'm being told.
Michael Jordan would be fine. Let's see.
If you gotta have
Jason Richardson.
Yeah,
I'd be
Fred Jones.
Nate Robinson would do it.
Robinson the third.
Nate Robinson's probably looking for money. I mean Dwight. I mean you have Blake could do it.
Gerald Green.
Gerald Green would be amazing at it.
Gerald Green
could still be in
the dunk contest. Yeah.
I mean, have we really seen someone over 30 do a dunk contest? Because I'd love it. Like,
how old was Flight White when he tried to do it?
I have no idea.
I think he might have been over 30, but he stunk.
Yeah, exactly. Personally, I think we just need to stop giving 45 dunks 50s.
Yeah.
For ratings' sake.
And I think the league should have a rule against tribute dunks.
Yeah, I'm tired of them. I'm tired of the same damn dunk.
You honestly should be disqualified if you do something that somebody did before.
5-point deduction if you do not improve upon the product.
Donovan Mitchell, if Vince Carter had never done the dunk that Donovan Mitchell did, it'd have been fine. I don't think it was a contest winning dunk, but it was weak.
Yeah.
Compared to Vince,
I agree.
I can't watch it, especially with him wearing Vince's jersey. I can't watch it without being reminded of Vince. And that's no fault against Donovan Mitchell. It's just that he's not a mutant like Vince Carter was. Still is. Yes.
I said, what are you talking about? He still is a mutant. But, I mean, overall, I thought the dunk contest was very, I'd say like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that's probably what I
three
above average.
The 3-point contest was better, but not much better. I'd say it was like a 6.5. Devin Booker put on a show.
Yes, he did.
And I told Cam before like the final round started, I was like, if Devin gets hot, this is over. But I'd really like to talk about Paul George. What the hell happened?
Yep.
Where did he go?
Here's my conspiracy. I think Paul George wanted to throw everybody off the scent about him going to LA. So I think he missed all of those shots on purpose.
You think he missed the shots purposely?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Because there's no way he could have been that bad, like actually attempting to compete.
I mean, I'd like to think so.
I can't fathom that Paul George, NBA All-Star, one of the best players in the NBA, could be that bad at shooting the basketball.
I mean, he could have just been cold.
I mean, like he was like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart did the 3-point contest as like a gag 2 years ago, and he had a higher score than Paul George. Like something's fishy.
LA nightlife strikes again.
Undefeated.
I think
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Ask Jimmy Butler.
We're just not even going to talk about that. We're not going to give any minutes to that. Just like he didn't get any minutes in the game. I thought that the skills challenge was funny, but it wasn't good. By the way, shout out to me for coming up with the right call.
Correct. Did I get anything right?
No.
I think I went 0 for 4?
Yeah. I don't think either of us picked Donovan.
No, I got the game right.
Oh, yeah.
We both did.
We both got the game right. But overall, like the game for the first 3.5 quarters sucked. Like a bench player would have won MVP.
Nah, the first 5 minutes was cool, and then
not even then. Like they were trying things, but it wasn't working. Like Steph trying to throw that oop to Giannis from up in Mount Olympus, it just didn't work out. Which is what you could really say for the entirety of the Team Steph performance.
Yeah,
they tried a lot of dumbass shit, and it just didn't work.
I think I don't know what Steph was trying to do when he was putting his team together, but you could literally make the argument that LeBron had 4 of the 5, the top 4 players in the NBA, all on his team.
He had Giannis, yeah.
I mean, no, LeBron.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, no, okay, you're right. Yeah, he had AD, but AD did not show up at all.
Well,
AD was bad.
They said he kind of was sort of hurt-ish.
BS.
So,
I call BS on that. He wouldn't have played otherwise. There's no incentive to play.
LaMarcus Aldridge played, and he was injured.
Exactly. I mean, there's no.
But LaMarcus Aldridge wouldn't have done it. It's the All-Star game. What's LaMarcus Aldridge gonna do? Hit a mid-range jumper?
Yeah, exactly. Chest pass.
Yeah, you can't tell.
He's gonna post up and hit a turnaround jumper on you, maybe an up and under. LaMarcus Aldridge ain't nothing.
Feeling fancy.
Al Horford,
That's why Al Horford didn't win the
MVP.
The skills challenge.
Yeah, he had
to shoot off the dribble. You gotta get a bounce.
He should have went. He should have done this. He should have just put the ball out in front of himself, bounced it to himself, and then shot it.
Good money, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been great. But this is the kind of things that a winner thinks of in that situation, which Al Horford's not.
Ooh.
But overall, I just thought this entire All-Star weekend outside of Quavo Harden was completely underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, for them to be in LA, you'd assume it would be
more magnetic,
better.
Electric,
better.
Yeah, I thought
because even the Rising Stars game stunk.
Rising Stars game was not close at all at any point in the game.
No, got that right too, because I said Team World.
We both did.
Team World smoked Team USA,
which is not surprising in the least.
But I will say this: Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen
Jaylen Brown had like 40.
He came out to play. Unfortunately, most of his other teammates
no
didn't.
one else did.
So another thing that happened during All-Star Weekend was LeBron, KD, and Kerry Champion going out on a drive through, what was it, Akron? Cleveland. And talking about how, you know, a myriad of topics.
Yeah,
but
just like general, like, you know, conversation about like life.
Yeah. And then obviously the topic of the president came up. And LeBron basically said, like, as a black man, it's problematic for him to be president, which he's right.
And he also made a point to mention that, as he has done before, that he doesn't feel that the president is qualified for the position, and which he is also correct in stating.
He is definitely correct. Glad we're on the same page. But then Fox News decided to
specifically Laura Ingraham
decided to stick her nose into the conversation and tell LeBron to shut up and dribble.
That's a straight quote.
I don't think I have to bring up all the receipts that Chris Long brought up.
Yeah, we'll be here all night.
Where Fox News has brought on several sports players to talk about non-sports topics, notably Kurt Schilling, like in his.
Don't even get me started on bringing on like entertainers like Ted Nugent. Like
Ja Rule even.
Yeah, who asked Ja?
But like, I really do not want to hear this out of like anybody about shut up and dribble or shut up and run the ball or anything like this.
For any athlete, but like especially
the most exceptional athlete on the planet.
Right, like somebody who has dedicated millions upon millions of dollars to making sure underprivileged children get to go to college. Millions upon millions of dollars into successful business ventures. Time, manpower, resources.
Blood, sweat, tears.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably a little other bodily fluids too.
Hey.
Plasma.
Like, if you want, the last person you should come at as far as being like a bad role model in the NBA is in sports, in life,
is LeBron James.
Like, right. And honestly, Kevin Durant.
Well, you have more ammunition to go at him, but
I mean, like he has
as a person,
right?
Yeah, like he seems like a decent guy as far as like getting like involved in the communities that he's.
Neither of them have ever been involved in any type of scandal or anything. Like
not anything that's not basketball related.
Right? Yeah, like nothing. Nope. They've never been to jail.
No, they have not. The only time LeBron has been in quote unquote trouble was Hummergate when in high school.
Blown completely out of proportion.
But I mean, for me, like, and after watching Dear Basketball, which is Kobe Bryant's animated short film, which is up for an Oscar, by the way, and for any of you all that haven't checked it out, highly recommend it.
Watch it.
Is it
animated?
Yeah. Watching that reminded me of that conversation that Laura Ingraham is having, because I think when we look at sports athletes and stuff, like these guys and women that like dedicate their entire lives to this, what we do not take into account all the time is the fact that these people's careers have a set time for it to expire. Like, a journalist doesn't have an expiration date on it. An actor doesn't have an expiration date.
Unless you're a woman. Shout out to Hollywood's rigid beauty standards.
Oof. Yeah, but, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, Meryl Streep's transcended it, but not everybody can. Singers, even though that one is somewhat debatable. Yeah. But, I mean, you still have people like,
But I think to your point, I won't put words in your mouth, but to your point, athletics is way more finite.
Yeah.
As far as the time that you have to use the skills that you have.
Yeah, and I think what we forget is, like, yeah, just because they've dedicated their lives to this, they're gonna have a life after it, and they know that. I mean, Kobe was
like,
hyper aware of
they're
it.
still human beings too. Like even
exactly
part of a bigger point. Like LeBron brought this up in the conversation. He basically was like, "Yeah, I'm LeBron James. Like when I have my jersey on, basically, like I still gotta go home and be black. Like, at the end of the day, like that doesn't change. Like
you can still get the hard R painted on your house.
Right, exactly. Like no matter how much money I have or stature I have or whatever, like I'm still going to be seen as lesser than by
some people,
ignorant people, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess what my point is like, I think a lot of people forget that these athletes, like you said, have a finite career. They have and they don't think about where the athlete's going to be when they're done.
Right.
I mean, you got Kobe Bryant, who is an Oscar-nominated
filmmaker
now.
I mean, like you can see like, certain people. A guy like Malcolm Brogdon is a good example of this.
Kevin Johnson. He's the mayor of Sacramento.
Right. Yeah, right. They're not. Like these guys are smart. Like they don't just go to college to like play basketball,
drink, and
unless you're
play ball. Oh, he shouldn't have been in college anyway.
No, but seriously, for her to insinuate for somebody to just shut up and dribble is completely like disrespectful and like not even.
It's not only disrespectful to LeBron James, it's disrespectful to everybody who's ever played a sport. Yeah. Really. But, I mean, that's really all I've got to say about that, to be completely honest. And then for her to, be all like, hey, if you want to really talk about this, you can come on our show. Like, you just contradicted your entire point.
Right. Like, if you didn't think he was worthy of the time to speak about it, like, why even, like...
entertain it.
Yeah, why give him a platform? But I mean, like you can't expect it to make sense. So
no, you cannot. So that's gonna take us to Chappelle.
A lighter topic.
A much lighter topic. Let me just first talk about how I got introduced to the show and whatnot, and why I love it. I got introduced to the show through my father, and I think the first episodes that we watched were the Rick James episode, and the Wayne Brady episode.
Okay.
I was like 12, I think, at the time. Like, I think the sketchiest thing I had seen up to that point, had to be probably an Adam Sandler movie or two.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was. Well, I mean, I went from 0 to 100 pretty quick.
Yeah, I would say.
But overall, the reason I love this show is one, it's still applicable today.
Absolutely.
Most of the skits that Chappelle did are still really relatable today to the black experience.
Some even to the human experience.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, even from my outside white perspective.
No, I would agree. Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, hell, some of it even predicted things that were going to happen later on.
Yeah.
Such as MARS, Mars, bitches. We're going to Mars. Red rocks. But yeah, having a black president, that kind of stuff, the Tron Law and Order skit, for instance, brings to mind how minorities are treated by the authorities. But yeah, overall, I love the show, and honestly, it introduced me to a lot of dark humor that I ended up growing to embrace later on in life.
Well, for me, I think I watched it kind of intermittently, as it was airing. Even as a kid? 9-year-old, I probably shouldn't have been watching it. But it wasn't the first time I had seen Dave Chappelle. I had
watched a stand up or two.
Yeah, I had seen Killing Them Softly when I was 9 and 10 years old.
You seen Half Baked?
I didn't see Half Baked until I was 12 or 13. It's all right. It's all right.
I didn't see Half Baked until I was like 16, but that was because I had to wait for it to come on Comedy Central.
Wow.
And
you haven't even seen the whole movie.
No,
Watch
technically, I guess
the cable version.
I mean, it was like the 3 a.m. Comedy Central,
yeah,
so like
you saw the whole
I pretty
thing,
much
yeah,
saw
yeah.
the whole thing. Like they killed a horse, man.
Yeah.
But
I just think that time period, just the early to mid 2000s, is undefeated as far as
the late 90s, early 2000s, yeah. As far as cable television was concerned,
music, like just
that's debatable. That one's a little debatable, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, I agree with you that like there was a lot of like great things to come out of that time period, and I mean, I think we're now starting to see with Chappelle getting these specials and stuff now, and him doing stand up again, what we really and truly missed out on.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of in a way like it's kind of like Barry Sanders retiring from playing football. The way I see it, like I'd rather you just give me your best and leave on top.
Well, I mean, Barry Sanders probably still had a few years of
Sure
his
he did,
best left to
just
give.
Just like Dave Chappelle probably had 2 or 3 more seasons of Chappelle Show left in them, but they might not have been as good. It looked like
it would
look at take the Boondocks for example.
It would have been hard to beat season 2.
Yeah, take the Boondocks for example. When it came back, well, okay, not as good as the original. It was all right.
Are we talking about reboots in general now?
Well, no, just I'm using that as an example, but
okay, that's fair.
My point is that there's something to be said for giving it your all when you know you're on, as opposed to riding it out for whatever gonna give him so much money.
I think they signed him on for 3 more seasons, so he would have had 5 seasons. I think.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would have lasted at the level that it was for 3 more seasons.
I mean, the way the lost episodes were shaping up, how they basically were like an outline of what season 3 was probably going to include. I'd say they were on par.
Yeah, but I mean that's 1 more season. He still would have had to come up with 2 more seasons worth of material.
And I think he could have.
He could have, sure, but I don't think they would.
Good stuff.
I don't know.
Obviously, we'll never know.
Right.
But I just personally, I think he could have done it. I think him and Neil had a great thing going, and unfortunately, like working 20-hour days.
I just don't think you'll ever see another show like that.
You won't
be as
daring.
Culturally relevant. Like, people still to this day will quote that show to you.
Quote, gif it.
Yeah, it is entrenched in pop culture.
GIF culture, yeah.
Life, yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard anyone say "I'm Rick James, bitch" for a while, and then I heard "Pick It Up" by Famous Dex.
Like that song came out like 2-3 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, you still got people like quoting like, "Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?"
There is like an entire Twitter account like dedicated just to the racial draft.
There should be. That was an amazing skit that I think they would have revisited it later on,
like around 2000, right when Obama got elected. Yeah, it would.
If they had lasted that long.
Right.
I think honestly, with the climate that we're in right now, a show like Chappelle Show would have been more successful. And I'm not talking about the political climate and whatnot. I'm talking about like how the artists of a show are allowed to have a little bit more freedom with when they release what they're doing.
Like if it was on
like Rick and Morty, how Rick and Morty can come back and like leave whenever it wants, like that type of deal. Like I think Chappelle.
I mean, part of that is like people will wait for you if you make good content. Like the reason that people were like, Rick and Morty can be as long as he wants to, because Rick and Morty is a good show
and it's animated.
Like if it sucked, like people would be like, I don't really care. Like whatever.
It's like Family Guy coming back. No one cares now.
But Rick and Morty is like, when we need it. Like come on, like give it to me. Yeah.
It's like Frank Ocean's music. Like people are always like clamoring.
Yeah, sure they are. But we say that to get into
our top 10
skits of all time. Do yours have an order?
I'll come up with one on the fly.
I don't. And the way I was going to do it was I was going to give you mine, and you can tell me like which ones you also like if I say
our
one
comparison. Okay.
Right.
Okay,
yeah,
we can do that.
If I say one, you tell me if you already had it. So here's my. This is in no particular order, by the way.
Okay.
Black Bush.
I have that one for sure.
Tyrone Biggums. I just put Tyrone Biggums as a series.
I have Fear Factor.
Okay, that's probably
specifically.
I can't decide.
Decide
between Fear Factor and Red Balls, but
Red Balls is amazing, but at the same time, Fear Factor like they went the extra.
They gave him character development. Like
they gave him Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was involved. I think John Mayer was one of the white guys.
He was.
Like
John Mayer had an entire skit.
Yeah.
It's not even on my list, but it's great.
It was a great skit. Like, the white people love guitar. Like, black people love drums. And Spanish people like keys, but with a random gibberish screamed to a megaphone.
I also have Prince.
Yeah, that's definitely on mine. That's a top 5, if not top 3.
I have Rick James.
I don't.
Interesting. Racial Draft.
I also do not have Clayton Bixby for those keeping track.
It's not on mine either.
However, I do think it's
an honorable mention
most
for sure.
important skit the show
the
did.
First one.
Well, second.
What was first?
Pop Copy.
Really?
Popular Copy came first in that episode. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, that and the Mitsubishi commercial, which is hysterical.
The Racial Draft.
Yeah, the Racial Draft is top 5 in my top 5.
One I don't hear a lot of people quote a lot, but I love this one.
Wu-Tang.
The Internet.
Oh, the one where he's got like the salve to make yourself bigger, so to speak.
Yep.
And he is implied that he has sex with a goat.
Yep.
Yeah, that was an amazing skit. Fucking right, I'm a doctor. That dude.
Tupac Alive.
That one's an honorable mention for me.
Making the Band.
That one's definitely in it. Now I need y'all to go to Queens and give me a sugar cookie. I need y'all to go and get me some Cambodian breast milk. It's the finest of breast milk.
Finest of Cambodian breast milk. Wu-Tang Financial.
That's like top 3 for me.
And Player Haters Ball.
That's also top 3.
Yeah.
I'd say my top 3 are probably Player Haters Ball because that's maybe my favorite skit.
I'd agree. Yes.
Because
like you can literally watch the outtakes for Player Haters Ball and it's almost as funny as like the actual skit.
Hell, Player Haters Time Traveling was amazing too. But just the character of Silky Johnson is
to put some water in Buck Nasty's mother's dish.
Look like he has dolphin teeth. Buck Nasty, you are so dark. Beautiful. Why don't you click your heels 3 times? Go back to Africa. Buck Nasty, what else can be said about that soup that hasn't already been said about Afghanistan? It looks bombed out and depleted. That entire skit.
I don't think I can watch that skit like the entirety of it, like going 30 seconds between like just
pausing
gut busting laughter. Even Ice-T is hilarious in that skit.
I hate you, I hate your guts, and I've never even met you. I don't even know you when I hate your guts. But yeah, that skit is the best that show has to offer, and I hate that it didn't like get the recognition
they made a
it
movie
deserved.
out of it, as funny as it was.
They basically would have with the time traveler thing. Speaking of that outtakes episode, another one of my honorable mentions was Mandela's Boot Camp.
Ooh.
That one's
another one you don't hear about very often, but a good one.
No, because it was an outtake skit. But oh my god, it's so dumb that it works for me anyway.
Which ones did you have on your list?
So
that I didn't mention.
Pop Copy. That it got the show set off on the right tone, because like you had Michael Rappaport as one of the dudes. Guillermo
he's had a week.
Wasn't Guillermo Diaz in that too?
I think so.
Yeah, he was like, "What's up? I am your manager. What's up? What's good?" They had. I mean, that skit's just funny. Like, he's like, for instance, like one of the best lines the show ever came up with was, "You graduated from the 5th grade. And you don't have to take shit from anyone."
Shit from anybody.
And why? Why treat the customer this way? Why?
Why?
Because fuck them. That's why. Like, just that line in itself is amazing. I thought it got the show off to a great start to lead into Clayton Bixby, which is definitely the boldest skit that show ever did. However, the family skit that they did is definitely as edgy.
It's as edgy, but it's not as funny.
Yeah.
Like Clayton Bixby has like quotables.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Another one of my honorable mentions is the 2-minute special. I'm not sure if many people remember that, but like I think if I remember correctly, it was episode 7 of season 1, and Chappelle was like, "So I've been trying to get this special from HBO, and all they said they had money for was a 2-minute one. So we're gonna do it right now, live on Chappelle's show." And it was genius in my opinion. Like, just like what he did.
Which one is the black sheep?
Oh, the real that was from season 2, episode 9. That was where he was talking to that guy, and he had the thoughts going on in his head. He's like, wouldn't it be
black sheep?
Wouldn't it be better if I was like a rapper? And he was like, "I'm a black sheep. I'm a real black sheep." And he was like, "What if I was on stage and just started going crazy?" And he's like, "What I'm trying to offer you is $30 million. He's like, "Oh!" And then the white guy goes, "Is like NASCAR." I was like, "Oh my god!" By the way, that's a foreshadowing to a topic later on. Another one I had was Trial and Law and Order.
That's 5th, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How many amendments in the Constitution of the United States of America? I can only choose one.
Only choose one.
I can only choose one. I plead the 5th. I'm like, just that part alone was amazing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
But now that I've like gone back and like with more knowledge, I guess, of the criminal justice system, like just going back and watching that skit is amazing. It's just beautiful. It aged so well. Another one I had was the World Series of Dice. I don't know how you missed that one.
It's an honorable mention.
That is the most honorable of mentions. Like, and Bill Burr is one of the commentators. Oh my god! And he was like a low key member of like a lot of the great skits on that show, especially Racial Draft.
I wish Patrice had been in more.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Patrice would have been great on that show to have been more involved.
More, yeah.
I think with season 3 they might have been able to, but
yeah.
We'll never know. Let's see. I thought the Cribs skit from season 3 was hysterical, where he cracked open a dinosaur egg.
I have another honorable mention.
What?
Reparations.
I was literally going to get to that. I'm rich, bitch! Like, oh, that...
Hide the money. There's white people around.
She says poor people.
Oh, poor... Oh.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. Like, that and Tron Carter...
I just bought a baby.
Tron Carter like... Oh, nah, baby. I just bought this baby straight cash. There was that, and how FUBU and KFC came together to make the biggest company in the world and reverse the recession. And we have nothing to think but all these black people. Like, just
Genius.
That was a great skit. I thought the real movies probably didn't get the clout they deserved, in my opinion. Like, Deep Impact specifically.
Which one is the one with Great moments in hookup history. That's another good one.
Yeah, those were great skits. I can't point to one that was like overtly amazing though. I think the penis and the popcorn probably the best one. I think Neil is like the guy in that skit. I think that Negrodamus, just any
I almost put Negrodamus
any
on
of the
list.
Paul Mooney skits.
Yeah.
Mooney on movies is hysterical. By the way, shout out to Mario Cantone, the Ask a Gay guy. I thought that skit was hysterical.
Yeah.
Great New York Boobs was also cool.
Which one is the one where he's on the street with Rashida Jones?
Oh no, it's not Rashida. You're either thinking of Love Contract with Rashida in it, or you're talking about the one where it was like real sex stories.
Yes, that one.
And he's like, she's like,
I experimented in college.
Yeah, and he's like, craziest thing ever did sexually? Having sex with a little game bang here without a rubber. Like, we done, man. Like, I thought the I Know Black People skit is hysterical and so underrated, underutilized. Like as far as like gift quality.
It's crazy. People talk about Black Jeopardy from SNL, which is funny. Keenan hosts as the funniest person on Saturday Night Live, and has been for some time.
Kate McKinnon's funny too, but Keenan, if they had brought him and Kel on the show, it would have been amazing.
I don't think Kel would have worked, but Keenan, like it's something about Keenan, like
him as Steve Harvey and him as Alex Trebek,
him as LeVar Ball, him as he played Cam Newton.
Yeah, I mean. Just crazy. I think that another one that a lot of people probably wouldn't have on their list is Mad Real World.
That's a good one.
But I don't know why, because Lysol had sex with Katie. I just filmed it. Like, just the entire, like, how he stabbed his dad. I'm bleeding.
The more I think about it, I think Black Bush might be my favorite.
I think it's top 5.
Yellow Cake.
Most Def was like one of the greatest like acting characters on that show. Like he was amazing. Like he did the black guy from the black representative for a racial draft.
Yeah,
he was what was he supposed to be, like the Department of Defense leader or something? Like in that
he
skit?
was supposed to be Rumsfeld, I
think. Black Donald Rumsfeld. By the way, shout out to Jamie Foxx for playing Black Tony Blair. Oh, that was such a. There's so many things to love about that skit. By the way, the Black Jeb Bush, played by the dude that was like, holla, 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 holla.
Don't drop that shit.
My motherland. But like, there's just so many great.
Cradle of civilization.
Cradle of motherfucking civilization. There's so many great things about that skit. But I think another one that's also flying under the radar is the Samuel L. Jackson beer.
That's a good one.
Good motherfucking boy. Good motherfucking choice, motherfucker. Like, it's my beer. Did you stop yelling at me? Also, Bill Burr is featured in that.
Talk.
And it was such a great way to it's such a great way to introduce season 2.
Oh man. But I think just the fact that we can sit here and
still talk about it,
to like talk about the show like it came out yesterday.
Yeah,
like it has aged so well. Like
probably
people forget, like this show was on like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been that long.
Longer than I've been in like school almost. Almost, folks. Almost. But another one I had written down was Lil Jon Talks to Lil Jon.
Okay.
That specific one where it's just like, sometimes I feel all alone in this world and I have no one to turn to. What? I said, like, no one to go to. Okay. Like, just that entire like back and forth was too meta to be good. Like, that show was amazing. But I think that's enough about Chappelle, at least for this episode.
We can talk about it forever.
We really could. But I think that's going to take us to our final segment of this particular podcast. That's not hot takes, obviously. We're talking about this particular hypothetical that Cam
has
found.
Broken the internet. Some would say.
Some might posit. Completely shattered it, even.
Yes.
Now, I think what would be a good idea is to go to Google Images and it'll probably pop up there.
You're right. No, actually, it did not show up.
Go to Twitter.
Yeah. Just put 10,000 right.
But it definitely got us some great ideas between Cam and I on what to choose here. Personally, I want.
Let's
pull it up first.
All right, here we go. All right, we
found it.
So the image says pick two. They will defend you. The rest is coming to kill you.
No, we have 50. I assume that's a hawks. 50 hawks. 10 alligators.
We don't know if those are alligators or crocodiles, pal.
They appear to be alligators.
Three.
I don't think that Steve Irwin hunted them. God rest his soul. One white man with a gun.
Wild card.
Three grizzly bears. 7 water buffalo. I think.
Sure. Bison.
No, those aren't bison.
No,
dude, I came from a town called Buffalo. I know what bison look like. A pack of 15 wolves, 10,000 New York sewer rats.
That's right.
5 full-grown gorillas, and 4 lions. Now, I think the 2 worst options here are by far the lions and the hawks.
Yeah, I would agree.
Followed closely.
Actually, no. I'd say the hawks and the alligators.
I disagree with you on the alligators, and here's why. Alligators can be on water and land, so, and not only that, in either one that they're in, they can camouflage themselves in the environment.
Okay.
Not only that,
but check this out.
They have a death move.
What if I'm in like an office building? Yeah, like we don't know where any of this is taking place. Like, we could be in like a Kinko's like.
Yeah, but that would mean white man with a gun's not going to be doing too good either.
You don't know that. We know what kind of gun he has.
He can get rushed.
I say that to say this. Here are my choices, and these have been given back to me by several people as quote unquote controversial choices. But that's fine. I'll live with it. I'm going with 10,000 rats and the white man. Now, let me be frank. I'm picking the white man based on just pure
racial prejudice.
Yes.
And I respect
he has
that.
killed everything else on this list several times.
Not an alligator.
White man's killed an alligator before. Somewhere.
Not with a gun.
What?
They got strong skin.
We're not counting by like proxy. He doesn't have to use the weapon to kill.
You're talking about the white man as a whole has killed an alligator.
Right.
Okay, that's fair. Has he killed 10? No.
He might not have to.
The
rats. That's where the rats come in. The 10,000 of anything is such an overwhelming number.
Even 10,000 Tyler Ulysses?
Hey. Style mixtape.
Jesus. So yours is the white man and the rats.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so after much deliberation.
The dream team.
After much deliberation, I have decided to go with the 10 alligators and white man with gun.
Ooh.
Here's why.
That's a big change for you.
What did I have before?
I
Was
think
it,
you
was
had
it the wolves.
You had the wolves, and I think you had the wolves and the gorillas.
No. I definitely didn't have the gorillas.
You had the gorillas?
No, I had the alligators the whole time.
Why do you like the alligators?
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, on the ground level, nothing. None of these animals compete with
They're
it.
not versatile.
How are they not? They go water inland. Like, look. Look at all these things and tell me which one of them can get through the water without getting ate up.
The bear?
Not without getting ate up.
By what?
The alligator.
You step on it. It's a fucking bear.
Yeah, but the alligator can catch its leg, death roll, done.
You assuming a lot right now.
It's done.
We don't know how dexterous these bears are.
We don't know how dexterous these alligators are. Let me just see how fast an alligator goes on ground.
Those combine stats?
Yes. Alligator
bear runs a 4.40
speed. Alligator speed and go up to 11 miles an hour, but it cannot maintain that speed for very long. It doesn't need to.
You don't know that. We might not be around anybody in the water. This goose is cooked.
It doesn't have to be in water. That's what I'm saying.
But he can't. You just said he can't maintain top speed.
It doesn't have to. If I've got 10 of them, and I'm in an office building, I just have them
taking the bears.
I just have them hiding out.
Taking the rats in that scenario.
Well, yeah, in that scenario. But if we're in the middle of a field with a pond, the rats are a terrible decision.
No, they aren't.
Yeah, they are. They'll get stomped.
You just said in the middle of a field. I have 10,000 rats.
If we're talking like the middle of the field in 7, where where they have like all they have is like a dirt road and like phone wires.
I have 10,000 rats. I can order 100 rats each to go in the mouths of those alligators, choke them to death. They suffocate. They die.
Not if
now all you got is one white man with a gun, and I still have 9,000 rats.
But not if the alligator doesn't open its mouth.
He will instinctually open his mouth. He's gonna want to eat the rats.
Disagree.
That's gonna be his downfall.
Disagree.
I'm
training them. Am I training them?
Nobody said anything about prep time. This ain't Batman. But
what are we talking about Batman for? There's no prep time going into DC movies. No. Hot take.
Then it's just white man on white man. Who knows what could happen? That's the battle. That's the battle of all time. That's the greatest battle of the century.
We're also assuming white man's got unlimited ammo, which I figure.
That's a good assumption.
I figure, and we don't know what gun they have. Assume we're thinking like a 12 gauge.
Nah, I'm giving him something more
but
versatile.
Like maybe an AR-15.
Give him a minigun.
A minigun?
With a minigun, yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
A sentry. He's got a sentry gun set up. What is this? Call of Duty?
White man with a kill streak.
White man. Ooh. that is a tenuous comment in this political firestorm that we're in the midst of. I think the Lions are terrible. I'm not big on the Lions. I get 10 water lions with the alligators.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
The alligators are a hard sell for me.
Why?
Like I'm thinking
it's
about
a reptile.
I'm thinking about the gorillas.
Why? Why?
Pure strength.
Nah. Highly disagree.
The gorilla could pick up one of those alligators by the tail and wrap it around like a wet towel. This is a gorilla we're talking about.
Yeah, but then we'll have another one climbing on its back, biting its leg off, and death rolling it.
Actually, you know what? The gorillas are the closest thing to a human. You put the gorillas out there with that white man, like a 5-man weave, like a kick return. You give
a wedge. You give him a wedge.
You give him blockers so you can. Come on, man.
Look, Planet of the Apes didn't work out too well.
Actually, you know what? This is a point I brought up last time when we talked about this. We don't know how advanced these apes are. What if I can get an ape's guns? It's a wrap. I basically got 6 white men with guns at that point. You done.
Oh God.
Done. Nobody's beating that.
Well, okay. We also have to consider that the other things are coming after.
Right. Yeah, I am.
So.
I take 6 white men with guns.
Look, I'm just saying. So, okay, you got white man with guns, 10,000 rats. So, 50 of these hawks can pick up like 3 at a time. So that's 150 gone immediately.
You're underselling.
We've got these
numbers of.
Look, I'm just saying.
10,000.
If they're trying to kill all the alligators, you said 100 of them each.
No. Let's make this clear.
Okay, how many do you think would it would? How many think do? How many do you think it would take to kill an alligator?
Rats?
1. Yes.
Conservatively, I would say 50.
Exactly. So we're talking more like 60, 65. So that cuts out a good 1,000 basically.
I still got 9,000. That's way more.
Then you got bears. How are they gonna kill the bears?
How they gonna kill the bears? I hadn't thought about that.
How are they gonna kill the water buffalo? How are they gonna kill the wolves?
Oh, they can kill the water buffalo easy. Climb up his
Trip
head.
him.
No, scratch his eyes out. He's a rat. He's a sewer. He's a New York sewer rat. You know how big they are?
Yeah, they are massive. How are they gonna kill the wolves?
No, with their legs.
Will they run full speed? No, because they're coming after you.
10,000 rats, Tammy.
I'm telling you, the casualty total would be way.
I'm banking on that. That's my contingency plan.
Here's why I say
they're disposable.
Here's why I say alligators. They are lowest to the ground outside of the rats. They have a signature move like Kareem. So they'll.
The white man has a signature move too.
That's why I have the white man. That's what. Shit. You're right.
Not how many avenues are open to the. I might go to white man. Now that I think about it.
No, you have to pick 2. You can't pick 2 of the same.
Who said I can't double up? Who made you the rule master?
Me, the white man.
Fair. Can't beat those odds.
Walked right into that one. But we're talking the thing that is the closest to the ground, and it can take out any of these things' legs, outside of maybe the rats. But they don't need. But they don't need. They don't need to take out the rat.
Yeah, they do. They gotta kill any.
Remember,
anything you pick has
to
kill 10,000
If
rats.
I've got a minigun on this white guy, it's taking out those rats in 50 minutes flat.
The rats are Draymond Green. I don't want him on my team. I don't want to play against him, but I want him on my team.
Okay, but then what are the alligators? Because we all know that the wolves are Russell Westbrook.
I say the alligators are like
the white man's Kevin Durant.
Nah,
Sharpshooter, sniper.
Steph Curry.
No,
Steph Curry.
No, it's Giannis.
Giannis is the
this is a foreshadow to another thing.
Giannis is the
Giannis is the white man. Troop Giannis is the white man. But I'd say if the alligators were somebody in the league, it'd be like Jimmy Butler.
Nah.
Yeah,
the alligators are they're like
Zach Randolph's.
No,
that's the Bears.
They're like Brooke Lopez.
Wow. I disagree completely. But there's not one thing that those alligators on this list can't take out. There's not.
Strong disagree.
There's not. Tell me what. Tell me what. They can grab them.
So now we got alligators 40-inch verticals.
They don't have to have verticals. They just got to turn to make sure they don't get their eyes plucked out.
The hawks don't have to come to the ground.
They have to kill the alligator, and I've got
they
the
don't
white.
Have to
and
kill
I've,
them.
and I've got the white guy for that.
It just says they have to defend me. They don't have to kill.
Do you know how
anything.
many birds this white man has killed for fun on his back porch? Do you know?
The hawks are a preventative measure. They're for the pacifists. They don't have to kill anything.
He can hit that with his left hand. Pa 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 pa. It ain't
target practice.
Skeet shooting. This ain't nothing to him. He grew up in West Virginia, dude. This ain't nothing to him.
I'm telling you, that's why they put one white man on here. Anything other than one more white man would have been too dangerous.
Exactly.
It would have been over. That's what I'm saying. I'm going 2 white men. All you doing is convincing me to double up on the white man.
Look, if I could, I would, but that doesn't count.
I'm breaking the rules.
Does not count.
I'm breaking the rules. The white man would do it.
But here's my thing. Like I said, the alligators can't. None of these things can kill one. It would be a take one down like type of situation. Be like one bear and one alligator would kill each other against one another.
I don't know about that.
The bears have a hard time getting to the ground. That's why when you get in the fetal position against the bear in real life, you don't die.
See, that's what makes this so interesting to me, because the terrain we don't know. The terrain is so important.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
if we knew what the terrain was, I think that'd be a clear answer.
I'm saying any ground, the bear can't get down to.
I'm just not believing in these alligators. These alligators are Josh Allen. I'm not believing in them.
Oh wow.
I'm not. These alligators, they don't. And they play weak competition. They're Mountain West alligators. I don't. They're not P5 alligators. They're not P. That's not a P5 animal.
So what you're saying is that they're more like they're either going to be like Andy Dalton or Kellen Moore.
Yeah, these are AJ McCarron animals. That's what they are.
I personally would easily take white man with. And the alligator would duel with any of these things while the white man's picking them off.
What? I'm glad we agree on the white man at least.
Yeah.
I think that's the most sensible choice. Like if you see this list and you don't pick the white man as one of your options, I don't understand.
Unless you have a valid strategy otherwise.
There's no valid strategy.
I'm just saying. I would be willing to hear anybody out. I would be willing to hear anyone out. By the way, tweet at us if you got any other theories.
Please do.
Tweet at us. Hit us up on MSN Messenger, like AOL.
Name us, please.
AIM, like any network that you want to hit us up at to tell us your theory on this. But that leads us to our final segment. Our final segment, I guess I should say.
The last one.
Our staple, hot takes.
Mm-hmm.
Cam, as usual, go first. What you got?
This week, a Sports Illustrated article. I think was it 2 days ago? Was it last night?
Sports Illustrated. Oh, it was the Mavericks thing?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
2 nights ago.
Yeah. Okay. So
like they started talking about it on First Take
today. Yeah. So Sports Illustrated released an article, basically alleging that the Mavericks front office had pretty much a lack of institutional control when it came to how women were treated.
Interesting.
Basically going as far as to say that one employee in particular,
was a serial predator.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best way to describe it. Engaged in lewd and lascivious comments toward women on
and assault.
Yeah. And then there was another employee who beat 2 women. Also, another person also employed by the Dallas Mavericks for an extended period of time. The first person was with the team for over 15 years. Second person was with them for a pretty long time too. But
the dude that committed the assaults, the sexual assault and harassment, he was there for almost 2 decades.
Yep.
But I think he was one of those dudes that might have been there prior to Cuban. I'm not positive on that.
You know when Cuban bought the team?
I don't. Do you?
I don't.
Mind looking it up real quick?
Yeah, I got you.
But the main point of contention right now with this story is how much did Mark Cuban know?
Right.
And my thing is, how did he not? If it went on for almost 2 decades.
For someone who claims to be, such a hands-on owner.
Such a woke owner.
Right.
He purchased it in 2000. So
yeah. But my beef with this is
from Ross Perot.
Women they need to be treated
as equals.
Yeah, especially in the arena of sports. You have so many women who play sports, report on, cover sports.
Yeah.
work within teams' front offices and medical facilities. And
The Aaron Andrews story kind of like
parallels this, yeah.
in a way, 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 in a way.
I just personally think that women in sports, period, should be treated as equals and be given just better treatment across the board as a whole. And I think that this situation occurring in a league like the NBA is definitely harmful to the league's reputation.
But credit to Adam Silver for like immediately taking action.
Right. Starting the hotline for employees who feel discriminated against or harassed.
Yeah, exactly. Which came down this evening, in fact.
Yeah.
As we were recording this, almost. Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, like, I think it's important that, as a whole, the league and like just sports in general, really the world, but like that's a whole separate issue.
Mm-hmm.
Women need to not feel threatened in the workplace.
Right. They
women
need to have just as much comfort working in a environment as a man does.
Exactly. I agree completely. Like I don't understand why it has still been such a hostile work environment for women. Like why aren't we taking the extra mile? Why aren't we taking the extra step to like protect our employees of all races, genders, sex, orientation, all of that. I don't know why we're not hiring people that like would promote the best future for the company, I guess.
Right, regardless of
any sort of like
personal proclivities, right?
Yeah, exactly. Is that what you had on that?
Yeah, I just want to close it out by saying that I think that the NBA responding to it as fast as they did is just indicative of the values system that they have, and I think that's positive going forward.
I agree completely. So since that's all you have for that, allow me to step in.
Please take the floor.
And I will take this hot take. So, for those of you who don't know me as well, or those of you who just don't know this side of me, I'm a huge NASCAR fan. Very, very big NASCAR fan. I've basically been watching the sport since I was born. Like, literally, like, the afternoon I was born, my dad was watching qualifying with me for a race. And I mean, my first word was car, all this other nonsense. Like, I've been watching basically since day one. And my hot take is about to finish to this most recent installment of the Daytona 500, the 60th edition of the race. I'm just going to set the stage. On the restart, Eric Almirola in the 10 car got out to the lead, followed closely behind by the 3 car Austin Dillon, and on the backstretch of the final lap, Almirola was still in the lead, but Dillon got a run on Almirola and made a move down low to attempt to pass him. Almirola blocked it, so Dillon reasonably went up high to go around him the other way, had plenty of room on the top side of the track to do that, and instead of racing Almirola, Austin Dillon wrecked him. He turned left into his right corner panel and turned him into the outside wall at over 200 miles an hour in front of a pack of cars going 200 miles an hour. Luckily, for Almirola's sake, he didn't get hit or collect any other cars in the process of him getting turned. But to see Austin Dillon win the race in that way was just ultimately just classless. It was one of the most classless moves I've ever seen in the sport of NASCAR. It was a Bush League move, so to speak. And for NASCAR to not take action against something that's so against the values of good racing, to not penalize him was weak. It was a weak move. It was pathetic, in fact. To see a driver put another driver's health at risk to win a race like that, I don't know how you could stare yourself in the mirror in the morning. I really don't. Now, granted, I've seen Dale Earnhardt spin people out. I've seen many drivers spin other drivers out to win a race or move them out of the way. But there is a certain code of conduct in NASCAR where there are specific moves that are obviously dirty and outright not kosher, so to speak. And the biggest one of all, I think, is the right corner. When you turn the left side of your car into someone's right corner panel, pit maneuver them into the outside wall on a straightaway. That to me is the biggest no-no in NASCAR. Now, I know what a lot of people are saying in racing, yeah. Now, I know what a lot of people have been arguing, and a lot of people have been saying that, it's the Daytona 500. Did it do anything for the win? Well, Kevin Harvick was put in the same position almost 10 years before this, in 2007. And, yeah, he could have wrecked Mark Martin to win that race. But instead, he raced him like a driver is supposed to do. And he won the race, fair and square. He debatably had a harder time getting past Mark Martin than Dillon would have had getting past Almirola, in fact. But that's the thing. It's not racing at that point when you just wreck somebody blatantly. That to me is putting another life at risk. We've already seen people die at Daytona. Not in extremely recent years or anything, but in this millennium, we've seen it happen in a 3-car, as a matter of fact. And to put another driver's health at risk, another racer's life at risk like that, is just one of the most classless, senseless, and reckless moves I've ever seen on a racetrack. I really don't understand why NASCAR didn't take the action that they should have and given him a black flag and taken his lap away from him so he would not have won the race. Because honestly, I think Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin racing to the line and being less than
almost neck and neck.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better finish for the sport, honestly, rather than someone getting turned to the outside wall head on.
Especially, Bubba.
Yeah, with Bubba Wallace winning the
Black
race.
History Month?
What?
I said during Black History Month?
During Black History Month?
That'd have been
being
amazing for the sport.
Being the first African American driver to win in
the
55 years
in his rookie season.
Yeah,
That'd have been crazy.
It would have been bonkers. But I mean, even him finishing second is amazing.
Crazy, yeah. He got. You know more about the sport than I do, but I would say he has a pretty bright future.
He does. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, we're also talking about restrictor plate races, which are not indicative of a team's equipment for the whole season. Mm-hmm. So, seeing as his team just changed manufacturers in the offseason, we're not sure what his team is going to be this year. Especially working with the new body that they're working with. They're working with a Camaro body now rather than the Chevrolet SS. Mm-hmm. So, the entire game has been switched up for Chevy drivers. But overall, like, I don't understand why NASCAR would allow something like that unless it was rigged. Now, I know that's going to sound crazy. I know that's going to sound wild. I know that's going to sound blasphemous, some might say. But there was an ad that ran immediately after the race that featured Austin Dillon. And it was him basically saying that, you know, some guys in the sport have to wear the black hat. I don't think that the network, Fox, that was running the race would have shown that sort of ad had he not won. To me, it just seemed all too coincidental.
Maybe, well, what if they had, I'm not, disagreeing with you, but what if they had, like, different ads set up for if different people had won the race?
They usually do, but my thing is, like, I don't know, like, you wouldn't...
Because I've seen...
I'm just saying, like,
I've seen Nike, like, run ads, they had an ad, like, after the Warriors won the title last year, like, about KD. Like, when LeBron won his first title, they had an ad about, like, LeBron getting his first ring.
Well, see, here's my thing, though, like, they wouldn't have
Let me
played...
ask you this.
They wouldn't have played that ad.
Was he widely accepted as, like, a contender for the race?
No, he had like 40-1 odds. He had 40-1 odds to win that race.
Now I'm starting to come around.
That and Richard Childress Racing has been a tier 2 team for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Really since Harvick left the team a few years ago. And not only that, like when you consider just the gravity of the day, it was 17 years to the day that Earnhardt in the same 3 car was killed on track, basically. In turn 4.
Even more like
and
crazy of a move for him to make.
Yeah, and then we're also talking about 20 exact years since Earnhardt in the same 3 car won his first and only Daytona 500.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of it all, like, it was the 60th running of the race. So, like, if some no-name wins it, like, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But if, like, Bubba had won it in Richard Petty's car, like, on Black History Month,
yeah,
first black driver to win in 55 years, it would have been amazing.
right.
Like,
They would have dominated,
they would have dominated the headlines for the whole week. The All-Star game would have been an afterthought. And it basically was.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm at a loss for words. I really am. Cam, you watched the finish, right?
Yeah, I did.
As more of, I wouldn't say an outsider, but as someone who is not as entrenched in the sport as I am, like, what did you think of the finish?
I agree with you that it was dirty. Like, for him to, like, in any, I'm full disclosure, I'm more of a Formula One fan, but
We are Team Lewis on this podcast.
of course, Mercedes AMG, but I think just to wreck somebody like that in any type of racing is completely just an abhorrent move for you to make, especially at that speed, that late in the race.
Yeah,
and
and
it's just,
I mean,
you can't. It's indefensible.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you say it's like a completely classless move to make?
I would agree 100%.
Even if it's for like all the marbles.
Yeah, like it would be like if you were in the Super Bowl, and the running back is three yards away from the end zone, and the defensive back, run up behind him and like horse collar tackle him, and he fumbles, and you run it back for a touchdown.
And the penalty's not called.
Right.
Or Zaza Pachulia taking out Kawhi Leonard's ankle last year.
Right.
Which has still
potentially ruining his career.
Yeah, it has rendered him completely ineffective. Kawhi, we hope you do get better, by the way.
Of course.
Love to have you in the league, fam. But overall, like, I don't know how anyone can stare themselves in the mirror after a win like that.
Right.
I also don't know how in the hell you have the nerve to like come out and dab afterward, like you just did something so boss level, like you actually raced someone to win, which you didn't.
It was a bad look.
And,
it was a bad look for him, and honestly a bad look for the sport.
And Migos to come and tweet at him afterward.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so agonizing. That finish was the equivalent to Culture 2.
Whoa.
But
we like Culture 2.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Like, it burned out toward the end.
Okay. All right. I see the vision. I see where you're going.
But overall, like, that and to get an ass tattoo afterward to commemorate your victory with your entire crew.
Wow.
And then post about it on social media. Just, it grinds my gears, folks. It really does. But thankfully in NASCAR, as in every sport, there's always the next race, always the next game, always the next down to play, so to speak. So, I mean, if it were me, I don't think Austin Dillon's probably going to win another race this year. I would hedge my bets.
You have 40-1 odds to win this one, so.
And that's a restrictor plate race where it's anyone's race. But I really do not think with how that race ended and how people are thinking of it that he's going to win another race this year. Eric Almirola, by the way, took that as a class act. He handled that way better than I would have. I mean, if it had been me, he wrecked me, I would have gotten out of my car at turn 3 and ran to the infield on the front stretch. And during his dabbing interview, I would have punched him in the face.
Wow.
Look, like I said, you just don't do that to a driver. And, like, just gets under my skin to see someone do something like that. Like I said, I really don't expect him to win another race this year, and I don't expect the rest, like the fans of NASCAR, to really be on his side either. I mean, for those of you who watched the race and watched his post-race interview, like right after he won, there were crickets. People were not cheering for him. I heard cheers at like half cheers at like one point, but I mean, you watched some of the post-race, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, and you didn't hear anything, did you?
Yeah, it's weird. Like, for like the 500, like, you know, it's just like fanfare and like everybody's happy. Everybody was kind of like, this guy. Really?
This guy stinks.
Yeah, like pretty much, yeah.
Like no one wanted that finish. Nobody wanted that. No one wants to claim that finish.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, overall, it just makes me mad, and I think NASCAR should have done the right thing and thrown the black flag on him and had the finish be really Bubba and Denny Hamlin coming to the line.
Mm-hmm.
And if Bubba won the 500, man, oof. Imagine the media fire.
Black Panther weekend or two?
On Black Panther weekend? Oh my God.
Boy.
It would have been.
Never heard the end of it. But
It might have been like one of the more prominent like moments in Black history, just like as a whole weekend.
Yeah, honestly.
With like LeBron standing up for himself, Black Panther being released, and Bubba Wallace winning.
As a black, I would have enjoyed it.
But I guess that kind of wraps it up for today's podcast. Next week, I assume we'll be reviewing a movie of some form. Film. I think another thing I want to do is potentially talk about Seinfeld a little bit.
Okay.
And are there any new albums on the horizon that you are aware of?
The last thing that came out that was really like noteworthy was Nipsey Hussle. I don't know how big of a fan you are.
I'm not.
Not too into him?
Nah. However, I would like to give a small shout out to Caro Bonito for dropping their Toe Tap EP last night. It's fire. I highly recommend it, and I hope y'all go listen to it. I'm not sure if Cam will, but it's 4 songs. It's 11 minutes. It's the length of a regular show episode.
I might check it out.
But overall, we're probably probably going to introduce another hypothetical next week.
Yeah.
Because that definitely brought out some spirited debate.
It was a fun time.
Indeed, it was. I think next week we're going to show the basketball one, which is something I alluded to earlier with Troop Giannis. Hashtag Troop Giannis. Tweet that. Get that trending this week, y'all. But overall, there are hopefully greener pastures and bluer skies ahead as far as NASCAR and the NBA are concerned. We are doing this on, what is it, Bunny's Night? What did Wob call it? He called it like flight night. He called it flight
NBA,
night.
The NBA's back?
Yeah, flight night. Yeah. So hopefully we'll be continuing to generate quality content for y'all in the coming weeks.
Please, nobody get hurt in NBA, please.
Or in NASCAR.
In any sport, yeah. No more injuries ever.
No injuries, except for the Jets' wallet when they're trying to shell out $100 guaranteed million to Kirk Cousins.
Where's Drew Brees?
Drew Brees ain't leaving New Orleans. What are you talking about? We'll talk about that next week because free agency will be on the horizon. Yeah. We'll talk about who
NFL hot stove.
Yeah, and the hotbed of NFL conjecture here on the Pause Before Applause podcast. That ends it for today. Like I said, my name's Tanner.
I'm Cameron.
And we wish you all a good night and thank you for listening to us.
Thanks, as always. See you next week.